What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Motor Time with the Motor Misfits. As always, I am Dan, gentleman over to my left or right. I still don't remember if you're to my left or right or up or down, but we got Craig with me as well, handling all of the video and commentary with me. How are you doing, Craig?
Oh, good, good. It's always exciting. I'm super excited to talk about our topic today. When you sent it to me, I was like, oh, this is my jam. I love this stuff. So, um,
Well, I mean, you recently just got back from an amazing trip. You were gone for what, 5, 6 days?
7. We were gone 7 total days.
Oh wow, wow, wow,
So,
wow. Well,
yeah.
I mean, the floor is yours, sir.
So
Please tell us. I don't want to ruin your thunder.
Yeah. So, what the way this whole thing started was my wife and I always used to just go on trips, and it would be motorcycle trips. We'd load up on a Friday night after work and take off, and not really have a destination or anything really planned. And then Saturday when we woke up in the hotel room, just kind of picked a direction and kind of went that way, and then Sunday, of course, rode home. And we've done some trips before and really enjoy it. Really just enjoy getting to be together, getting to spend time together, getting to see things that we haven't done before. And that was all during COVID and those things. So lots of stuff was shut down. So it was easier to get out and go and do things. We both work full time jobs, so it's hard to take a week and go do something. But she put the plug in my ear of hey, it's been 2 or 3 years since we've gone and really ridden somewhere that we haven't ridden before. Um, and I was like, well, okay, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And she's like, I don't care. You plan it, you pick it, you do it. I'm like, okay, well, that was some great help. That really led me to a whole direction that I knew which way to go. So I got to doing some looking and some studying of what we can do, and it kind of just fell right in my lap. Of course, watching YouTube videos of stuff and Route 66. My wife has never been further west than Missouri. So if you haven't been further west than Missouri from southern Indiana, there's a whole nother half of the United States that you, of course, haven't been to. So that's what I did. I started setting out a plan for how can we ride, a good chunk of Route 66. So that's what we did. I laid it out to where we're riding about 350 miles a day, covering the big things along the way. The first one we leave here, we go to Joplin, Missouri, and then from there we jump on what is Route 66 and ride it to Elk City, Oklahoma. And during that, we get to stop at Cars on the Route, which, if you don't know, that's the kind of theme for the movie Cars, where it came from. So we get to go through there, take pictures. They've got all kinds of cars and things set up, old gas stations, old filling stations. So really kind of a pretty neat, place. We're gonna go on into hit the three-state marker there, where there's 3 states that meet up. And then we go on into Oklahoma, which we're going to see a couple of Harley dealers there that we haven't been to. But, just some of the big things that we got to do. There's a big blue whale, which sounds really ridiculous, really dorky, really kind of weird. But there's a whale that literally is in the middle of nowhere that you drive right by on Route 66, and you can get out and go into it. It's big enough that you can walk through it. You can go up to like where the blowhole is and look out. Just kind of a really neat thing altogether. We're going to do, of course, Cadillac Ranch, the Continental Divide, which, if those of you, who aren't as dorky as me, the Continental Divide is what sends water either to the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean. So we're going to be right on that. Um, let's see what else. The Big Blue Hole, which is a literal swimming hole that you can jump in. It's off of the side of Route 66. There's just all kinds of things that we're going to be able to see along Route 66. Once we get into New Mexico, we're going to jump off of Route 66 and kind of head up, and we're going to see the Four Corners marker. So we're going to do the three states marker and the Four Corners marker, all on one trip. Head up into Durango, which we're then going to get up into the Rocky Mountains. We haven't ridden the Rocky Mountains. We've ridden the Appalachian Mountains a ton, but haven't really ridden the Rocky Mountains. So that's a great thing that we got to do. And then we're gonna meet up with my nephew who lives out there, and have dinner with him before we head into Parker, Colorado for the night. That was a great meal. He took us to a biker bar type place there, and then we're gonna come back across the plains of the United States and and get to ride a whole bunch of flat roads before we get back to southern Indiana. But 7 days of just riding new stuff, stuff that we haven't ridden, haven't done, haven't seen. And it weather was great, so didn't have a problem with that at all. Last day, a little bit of rain, but other than that, it was just perfect. Great time. Getting to spend with your wife, who a lot of times she tells me, hey, get on the bike and go somewhere, get away from me, get out, go do something, you're annoying me, because of course she has to work all summer and I don't. So me sitting on the couch watching videos is annoying. So she's like, hey, get on your bike and leave, which is what she's done before. And I ride up to Wisconsin and watch a race and then ride back home. So all in one day.
All in one day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
740 miles, I think. But that type of stuff, and getting to do it with her, kind of where all of this started is a great thing to go back to where it all started, I guess.
And it brings you guys close together, and you know what I mean. It's just
Oh
you
yeah,
two, and you don't have other influences, whether it be friends or family there or kids.
yeah,
You're able to somewhat, uh, you know, just get back to square one. You know what I mean? Not I say this: everybody's relationship is a great relationship, but sometimes you just need that restart where it's just you guys. And
yeah. Well,
I'm sure that it
and
was a great trip for you guys.
yeah, and like you've said in previous things, we both have all kinds of things going on. We've got our kids, our full time jobs, our other part time jobs, our other things that we do, and it's like let's take some time and just do some stuff that's just us. And that's what this trip was, and it was great. We got to just kind of hang out, do something that we both love. I love to ride, as you can tell by the amount of miles that I put up, but she loves it too. Her job doesn't allow her to be off like mine does, but this was a great time to put in 3,000 miles over 7 days. And just kind of knocking them out and having a great time doing it, seeing stuff that we'd never seen.
Well, and then we've got Fourth of July. That's a couple days away from today.
Yeah.
Are you guys just kind of keeping it low key at the house?
Yeah, so we're at home for the 4th of July, but then after that, um, we I leave. Jay's staying here. I leave for another long road trip with Cliff that we talked about in our last podcast. We're gonna hit up all of the states east of the Mississippi River in through 4 days. Yeah, 4 days before then we head up for a birthday celebration. So
Right on.
that's another one that's kind of a haul, So um, that one's a lot of interstate and just pounding miles to get them in and get to the states. But the goal originally was to ride all 48 states in the continental United States, but we can't get enough days to be able to do that. Of course, I can because I don't have to work during the summer, but everybody else, it's a struggle to be able to do that. So we decided, maybe split it up into a couple of trips and do east of the Mississippi one time and then west of the Mississippi the other. But as we finish that one, we then come up to you for birthday weekend, which you've got some details and some stuff on.
Yeah, we're going up to Wisconsin. We're gonna go to Castle Rock Lake, and then we'll probably hit around there. We were gonna go to the Harley Homecoming, but if you've been to it once, you've been to it 1,000 times. I mean,
Yeah.
it's there's
Unless it's an
nothing crazy
anniversary.
that
If it's an anniversary one,
exactly.
that's different.
But this one's kind of no frills, no thrills. I mean, all the Harleys have the same thing. I'm not downgrading Harley Homecoming, but it
Yeah. I
definitely
mean, it's
is
a good time
something
if
that
you've
it's
never
like,
been, but if you've never been, definitely get there, go to it. But if you're looking for one to go to, make sure it's an anniversary one.
oh, for sure, for sure. So we're gonna spend a couple days up in the upper Wisconsin, maybe dip into Minnesota a little bit. But it should be an overall a good time. Definitely to get out and ride and enjoy ourselves
Describe that area
and
a little
whatnot.
bit because that's not an area that a lot of
It's
people know about.
so up there. It's a lot of tall trees, two-lane roads, and after it gets dark, you need to be in a car or you need to drop your RPMs and speed down to like half. So Castle Rock Lake is about 30 minutes north of the Wisconsin Dells. If you haven't been there, it's the water park capital of the world. Well, that's what they say. Um, but it reminds me again of a Gatlinburg or a Pigeon Forge. A lot of tchotchke shops, um, different. You can ride the duck boats and all that other stuff. But I think we're gonna probably stay probably north of there, and we're gonna kind of keep it more low key. We're gonna go to a supper club, which is kind of like a fan. I don't want to say a fancy steakhouse, but they've got supper clubs are big in Wisconsin. That's where the old fashioned drink came about. If you're a drinker, but it should be a good overall good time. It's not really mountainy, if that makes any sense,
Yeah.
or hilly. It's more of they cut it out of, you're going a lot of water and rivers and whatnot. So it should be a good time to get everybody together and be able to ride and
There
enjoy themselves.
there's one intersection that we've got to stop at.
Oh yeah, that's where they have the HOG, all in Wisconsin. All of their, it's like their state roads or their county roads are letters. So they have the HOG, which intersects all at once, and we can get a picture there. And I don't know if you get anything from Harley, but it'd still be a
You get
good
to be
time.
awesome because I don't know anybody who's done it.
Well, we're gonna do it.
So, and that's something that you get online and you look and they're like, oh, these intersect at HOG, and you're like, that's cool. I need to go there and see that. So and it wasn't too far from where Dan has us staying. I think it was like 40 minutes or something like that. So that should be a pretty cool thing.
Exactly. So yeah, we're gonna leave out Friday morning. Get there. It's about 3 hours north of us. We'll get kind of settled in, and then we'll probably get on the bikes and we'll go ride for a little bit, and then we'll get back to the our accommodations and be able to hang out. And then the next day we'll pick out a ride and go somewhere. We were, like I said, we were gonna go to Harley Homecoming, but Milwaukee's an hour and a half south of there, so it's like we're hour and a half south or north of our house. So it's kind of one of
Yeah.
those. We'll stay north, go to the upper Wisconsin, which I've never ridden. I know you haven't ridden either.
Right.
We'll go into to Minnesota, which we'll go by where Minnesota and Wisconsin meet by Lake Superior. Check out the rice fields. Because in Minnesota they're known for a lot of different things, but their Minnesota wild rice is like a big thing that they have up that way. So, but yeah, I mean that's coming up in the next, that's next, not this weekend, but next weekend. So it should be a good overall trip.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
When you're talking about trips, that's something that a lot of people ask me. How do you go about finding things? How do you go about finding rides or finding places to go see or just areas? How do you approach that?
Google. I mean, honestly, I type in Google and I type in motorcycle rides Wisconsin, and if I type in, I'm just even here. Yep. Look at it. It's even my first thing. So there's called motorcycleroad.com. I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah.
Nope. As, as I can. So it looks like that on your phone, and you literally can just. It says routes, and it gives you when you go to the satellite, number 1 through 5, and it starts
Starts kind of mapping them out.
uh, populating them, and depending on where you're at, you can see what makes the most sense. And then if you zoom in, it will even give us, there's a couple that we're going to ride. We're probably going to ride the orange, the purple, and the blue.
Yeah.
That's a big old circle. But, that's definitely some cool little areas. You got Chippewa Falls, you got Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Stevens Point. There's different places that, we're centrally located in Wisconsin. But I usually do that. I also Google search, hey, where's a good ride to go? Or I just say, where's my start point, where's my end point, and what's in between, and go from there.
Yeah.
But you also need to establish how long your riders or your group of riders can be on a bike.
Right. I mean, that's a
There's some
huge
that are
thing.
only 4 or 5 hours, or there's some that can be on for 12 hours, because you could put on. I mean, you can ride from here to Florida in 18 hours.
Yeah.
Could you do it on a bike? Sure, you could. Is your body going to hate you afterwards? Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's funny because we do it the same way, but we do it differently. You get on Google and you look it up. I get on YouTube, and there are all kinds of vloggers and people out there who post rides that they have done. So I get on YouTube and I'll type in Ohio rides, and the first person who pops up when you type in Ohio rides is Her Two Wheels. And she's from Ohio. She's from the Athens area, which if you're looking for great riding, Athens is the place to go in Ohio. I mean, it's got great riding. We were there last summer. It was great. If you're looking for stuff in Tennessee, Traveling Tall. He's from Tennessee. He's ridden a lot of the stuff that we rode, last month. And it like kind of lays it out for you. It's like, hey, you can do this, this, and this all in one day. If you're out in California, the Thrashing Crew or the Two Lane Life guys out there, they've got the stuff all laid out for you. Thrashing has started a new ride vlog where they actually go on the ride and like show you what the ride looks like. So there are tons of ways to find out rides out there, and probably the easiest and the simplest is to get on the bike and decide, okay, at this stop sign I'm going to turn right, at this stop sign I'm going to turn left, at this one I'm going to turn left, I'm going to go right, and you just end up somewhere that you're like, oh, I never rode that road before, but it's great, so I'm going to keep doing it. So but that's one that we talk about rides, and we talk about these big plans, and rides can be as planned as you want or as unplanned as you want.
Yeah, it all depends on what kind of style rider you are and what you're prepared to do or not do. So,
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
in the whole scheme of things, if you're a highway rider, then ride the highway. Just go somewhere and do that. Or if you want to get off on the beaten trail and get off on some gravel roads or some,
Creek
go through creek
crossings.
crossings or whatever. It's just a matter of figuring out what your style of riding is, because some people are a little bit different than others. Like right now, over the last couple of weeks, they had with the Mike's Ride, which is done by Chicago United, which is a large sport bike community up here in Chicago. They did Mike's Ride, but they said anything 100 cc's or less, and they had you going through off beaten paths,
Yeah.
um, obstacles, all sorts of different things, and check them out. Chicago United riders, they do a doomsday, which basically there's about 3,000 bikes that shut
Yeah.
down downtown Chicago, uh, which would be an awesome adventure. But definitely a lot of stunts and stuff like that. So, and then in a couple weeks, you got Sturgis that's coming up.
Yeah.
That's another bucket list. Not necessarily I want to go during Sturgis, because I
Yeah.
don't. That's not my cup of tea. Um, but it definitely is a bucket list check that I want to do. I think that's more of a trailer there, figure out accommodations and ride the different routes that are out there, because I know there's a lot of riding
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
for
So,
sure. For sure.
but I think that's a good place to end. Um, for this vlog today. For one thing that I would like leave with, now we're in the middle of the summer. Some of us go back to work. Craig goes back to work in a couple weeks. Um, but don't be afraid to just get on the bike and ride. Just simple
Yeah,
as that. Just throw, put it in first gear. It all starts with you. Twist that throttle and just roll. That's all I have to say.
you're exactly right. Find something, whether it's just running to town to get groceries or a 4,000-mile trip. Either way, find something and just ride it.
Absolutely. So, oh well, we will see you.
Next Tuesday for sure.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.